Here in this lesson, we are going to learn about sectors, economic activities, classification of sector, rising importance of economic activities. So, let us start the lesson. Students, the economy of any country can be best understood when it is classified in a different components. These components are commonly known as sectors. So now let us understand the concept of sector first. Sectors are a group of economic activities that are classified on the basis of different criteria. Sectors are group of economic activities classified on the basis of different criteria. So here first concept that we have to understand is sectors. Sectors are nothing but group of economic activities classified on the basis of different criteria. Okay, now just before I say economic activities, now we have to understand what are economic activities. Economic activities are the activities that give an income in return. All the activities that give an income in return are called economic activities. For an example, I am a teacher. I am teaching. So this profession, teaching gives me salary. So teaching is an economic activity. So the concept economic activity means all the activities that give an income in return are called economic activities. So here we have completed two concepts. First one, sectors, another is economic activities. Now let us move to the important aspect of this lesson, classification of sectors. On the basis of different criteria, sectors are classified into three main groups. On the basis of different criteria, sectors are classified into three groups. First one, on the basis of nature of work, on the basis of nature of work, sectors are classified into three groups. First one, primary sector. Second one, secondary sector. Third one, tertiary sector. Here, second one here, on the basis of condition of work, on the basis of condition of work, sectors are classified into two groups. One is organized sector. Second one is unorganized sector. And third classification on the base of ownership. On the base of ownership, sectors are classified into again two groups. First one is public sector. Second one, private sector. Here, these are the classification of sectors on the basis of different criteria. So, Indian economy is classified into these three different sectors. So, let us understand or let us learn more about these three sectors one by one. So first one, on the base of nature's work, sectors are classified into three groups. In the primary sector comes first. So let us study about primary sector. First we need to understand what is primary sector. Goods that produced by utilizing or exploiting the natural resources are they come under the category of a primary sector. Goods that are produced by utilizing or exploiting natural resources come under the category of a primary sector. Goods that are produced by exploiting the natural resources are called primary sector, or these activities come under the primary sector. For an example, students, production or cultivation of cotton. For the growth of cotton, we depend upon, or we directly or indirectly depend on natural factors like rainfall, sunlight, water, soil, fertility, climate, so on. So, as we are depending on the nature, the production takes place in the nature and on based on other factors of nature. That's why this sector is called as a primary sector. Here, economic activities like agriculture, mining, fishing, dairy, animal husbandry, these all economic activities come under the primary sector. This primary sector also known as the agricultural sector. Remember, primary sector also known as the agriculture sector. So we have completed the first sector, that is primary sector. Now let us move to the second sector, secondary sector. sector covers those all economic activities that change natural products into other forms of manufacturing. Natural products, just before we have completed primary sector, whatever produced in the primary sector, in secondary sector they are transferred into manufactured one. Actually, this sector is the next step after the primary sector. For example, mining of iron ore is a primary activity. Mining of iron ore is a primary activity, and manufacturing of steel is a secondary activity. Mining of ore, primary activity, and manufacturing steel. Steel is a secondary. So here, that's why secondary sector is also known as it's the next step of our primary sector. So here, this production process could take place in factories, workshop, or at home. So here, manufacturing products like bricks, sugar, clothes, machinery, so on. These are manufactured. Primary products are turned into manufactured. As this production work takes place in industries, this sector also known as the industrial sector. So you need to remember, secondary sector also known as the industrial sector. Now let us do the third one, tertiary sector. After primary and secondary sector, there is a third category that falls under tertiary sector. You students, this tertiary sector is completely different from primary and secondary sector, because these economic activities help primary and secondary sectors in the development of primary and secondary activities. How they support? These tertiary sector supports in the production process. It provides services which is essential for the primary and secondary sectors. Here, actually tertiary sector does not produce any kind of goods. It generates only services. And economic activities like banking, transport, insurance, education, health, Medicare, these all activities comes under tertiary sector. As this sector provides services, this sector are also known as a service sector. Tertiary sector also known as a service sector. These sectors, though these economic activities are classified into three groups as a primary, secondary, and tertiary, though they are different, classified into different groups, but they are highly interdependent. They are interlinked. We cannot separate these activities. They are interdependent. So here, in the first group, on the basis of nature of work, we have classified sectors into three groups: primary, secondary, and tertiary. So we have completed. Let us put the second one. On the basis of working condition. On the basis of working condition, sectors are classified into two groups. So here first one comes organized sector. First one, organized sector. This organized sector covers those enterprises or places of work where terms of employment are are regular. These are I'm going to deal with the features of a organized sector. So let us do the features. Your first feature is terms of employment are regular. And here, in organized sector, people get assured work. It means organized sector has a job security. Here, organized sector has a job security. Third one, this sector, organized sector, registered by government. These organized sectors are working areas or the institutions come under the control of a government. They have certain rules and regulations. As they are registered by government, they have rules and regulations. They have to follow the rules and regulations, which are mentioned in the various laws. For example, Factory Law, Minimum Wages Act. So these acts or laws they have to follow. And moreover, workers in the organized sector, they enjoy some privileges, provisions like holidays. They get provided fund, used to call PF, and they get a payment during the holidays, and they get leave during sickness, and they get a gratuity. These all are the provisions provided in a organized sector. They get one of the benefit of the organized sector, working in the organized sector is these are the benefits they get. And one more benefit, they get medical facilities. They get medical facilities, and they get a safe environment, working environment, and even they get a pension too. Here, these are the features of our organized sector. Now let us move to the second sector, unorganized sector. So let us go to the unorganized sector and features. So here we have got the first one, organized sector. The features of unorganized sectors are directly opposite to organized one. So we have gone through first one, that organized sector is under control of a government, but unorganized these are out of the control of government. These unorganized sectors characterized by small and scattered units which are largely out of the control of government. Here, rules and regulations are not followed. Rules and regulations are there, but they are not followed at all. So, there are no such laws which are mentioned in organized sectors like Minimum Wages Act or Factory Act. These are not followed. And here, there is no job security in unorganized sector. Here, the first thing is they are not registered by government. Here, unorganized sectors are not registered by government. No job security. And works, the jobs are less paid, the salary or wages are very less. And the thing is, they do not get any provisions like PF, pension, holidays, payment during the holidays or leave during sick. So these provisions are not provided in an unorganized sector. Here students, you may get examination point of view, this is a very important aspect. You may get a question to 3 marks. What are the differentiate between organized sector and unorganized sector? What are the difference between organized and unorganized sector? So this could be the possible question. Just keep in mind. So let us move to the third one. On the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, sectors are classified into again two groups. One is public sector, another is private sector. So, on the basis of ownership, sectors are classified into two groups, public sector and private sector. So, let us go quickly the both sectors. Public sector. In public sectors, assets are owned by the government and service or delivery is given by the government. So, government here gets control over these all assets. Government provides services. The purpose of the public sector is not gain profit, and government raises money through taxes and to meet the expenses on the services rendered by it. And here, for example, post office, railway, these are a good example for a public sector. Here, motive, they do not have any motive of earn profit. The thing is only give services. So, good example for a public sector is railway and post office. The second one is private sector. Private means you can understand that ownership and delivery of services directly come under the private individuals or companies. So, everything decided by private companies. So they decide the rate and the mode of service, and everything is controlled by the private individuals or companies. For example, here TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company. So Tata Iron and Steel Company is a good example for private sector. And Reliance Industries Limited, RIL, this is called Reliance Industries Limited. These are the private sector. Actually, economic activities in the private sector are guided by motive to earn profit. The intention of the private sector is just earn profit. That's all. Because they need to earn profit. To obtain this service from the private sector, if you want to get any service from private sector, we need to pay money for such individuals or companies. We do not get anything free of cost. But public sector provides those all services. Some services are provided free of cost, some are we have to pay very less, but motives are not to earn profit. So this is about public sector and private sector. Students, next is very important aspect that we are going to learn next topic, next class, that is rising importance of a tertiary sector. So we shall discuss that topic in the next class. So till then, take care, stay home, stay safe. So till then, thank you and have a nice day.